ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله جل في العلا وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. As you'll find from completing and purifying one's testimony of La ilaha illallah is to rid it of anything that taints it. And that is part of the preparation of meeting Allah Ta'ala in the hereafter. That one puts forth his utmost effort in purifying that testimony. And at the head of affairs in which it's incumbent upon one to rid himself of and cleanse his heart of and cleanse his testimony of is all the affairs of polytheism and its aspects. For verily what has become widespread amongst the Muslims, in which our Prophet ﷺ and what he was informed of the revelation of what will be present amongst his ummah is what they call ilmu tanjim, the knowledge of astrology, which is the belief that the stars have some type of influence or impact in one's daily life, or generally in regards to certain affairs or events that transpire in this world. For any type of ascription, meaning ascription of the stars to these particular matters, is part of what the Messenger of Allah ﷺ highly prohibited. You'll find that it's become somewhat of a satanic type of practice amongst the Muslims. It's the belief that they have some type of zodiac sign. For you'll find that the great Imam, in which you'll find that a lot of the Muslims from the deviant sects make war with, which is the author Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab rahimahullah, in which he put in Kitab al-Tawheed, meaning teaching the Muslims how to purify their testimony of La ilaha illallah properly. He gives explicit details and instructions on how to do that. From those chapters that he put in this book was entitled Bab Ma Ja'a Fi At-Tanjim, the chapter which comes in the knowledge of astrology, or the belief that the stars have some type of influence or impact in one's life. He used the narration which comes in Bukhari, with a narration on the authority of Qatada, and it's not a hadith. It is a statement of the Salaf. From them was Qatada ibn Da'ama Sadusi, where he mentioned in a statement where he said, خَلَقَ اللَّهُ هَذِهِ النُّجُومِ لِثَلَاثٍ زينة للسماء ورجوما للشياطين وعلامات يهتدى بها فمن تأول غير ذلك أخطأ وأضاع نصيبه وتكلف ما لا علم له به. He said that Allah created the stars for 3 reasons. For 3. That's it. What is beyond that is transgressing the bounds. So the stars were created for these 3 purposes only. decoration for the heavens, to shoot down as missiles for the shayateen, and signs in order for the travelers to be guided by. Whoever interprets other than that, meaning that they utilize the stars for other than that, they have erred. They have fell into a great mistake. And they have nullified their portion of the religion. And we will talk about that the meaning of this statement is they fell into disbelief, where they have nullified their Islam, where they have fell into something that has nullified the Shahada. It has nullified La ilaha illallah. Because ya ma'ashar al-ikhwa, you have to know La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, it has affairs that validates it, and it has affairs that will negate it and nullify it. You'll find that the great Imam, Sheikh Salih Fawzan ibn Abdullah al-Fawzan, حفظه الله ورعاه وطال الله في عمره بالأعمال الصالحة, where he goes on to say, التنجيم المراد به اعتقاد أن للنجوم تأثيرا في الحوادث وما يجري في هذا الكون, وقد يراد بالتنجيم معاني أخر يأتي تفصيلها, وهذا اعتقاد قديم كان في قوم نمرود الذين بعث إليهم الخليل. Whose child is this? Brother, you have to grab your child. Child is getting on the minbar with me. Qawm Nimrud, in which Khalil Ibrahim was sent to. He was sent to a people of polytheism and idolatry. Their name was As-Sabi'ah, the Sabians, which they used to worship the stars. They used to worship the planets. And they used to build high, lofty buildings and structures. And they used to build towers and houses of worship for the stars. They used to believe that the stars administrate the affairs of this world, and they have some influence or impact on it. This evil is still present in this world. So you must learn that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only made the stars for 3 purposes only. It does not go beyond that. Firstly, you will never find in the book of Allah and the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed to this ummah that the stars, based upon its position in the sky, or based upon some certain season, or some type of day, or month, or year, that based upon that they have some type of impact in one's daily life. Allah created the stars, decoration for the heavens. Number 2, as missiles to shoot down the shayateen. Because we know that the shayateen, that they try to ascend to the heavens in order to hear some type of news or some type of affair that's been decreed for one of us or in this world, and they try to steal it from the angels. As a result of it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends a shooting star as a missile to shoot down the shayateen. Because we know that the shayateen, they ascend to hear an affair that has been destined has been destined or decreed for someone, or some of the affairs that take place in this world, and they send it down to the soothsayer, or the fortune teller, or the palm reader, or the crystal ball reader, or anyone that claims to have knowledge of the unseen, as they receive their news from the shayateen. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from His infinite wisdom, created the stars to shoot them down. So that's the other purpose. The third is for the people to be properly guided in their travels. As it clearly says, as we know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made certain signs in the earth and certain signs in the heavens, in order for the people to utilize them to be properly guided in their travels. As we know, Allah has made the roads and the lands and the mountains clear signs so people can utilize them in their travels so they will not be misguided or become lost. Similar to that, Allah has made signs in the heavens to be utilized as directions in order for one not to become lost from Nujum, from the stars, from the sun, from the moon, in which the people utilize as an evidence to go about in their travels, and likewise, especially those who are in the ocean sailing about in the boats, in order for them to utilize these signs so they will not become lost, especially at night. For these three purposes only was the stars created for. As I keep hearing that some of our brothers and sisters, they are now becoming affected by astrology, meaning that they believe in the zodiac signs, where it's now becoming amongst the Muslims. Shaitan has opened this door up again, and it's incumbent upon the people of the Sunnah to close this door, because Shaitan opens this door up either due to there's new Muslims that are still coming in. They do not have knowledge of this affair, and they have not studied the book of Kitab al-Tawheed to purify themselves of polytheism, or due to the fact they have not busied themselves with these type of affairs, where as soon as you become Muslim, without hesitation, it's incumbent upon you to learn these affairs. Because if you fall into one of these affairs, in which we've been mentioning for almost over a year, then you will nullify your Islam, because we know polytheism is the number one sin. If you die upon it, Allah will never forgive it. If you die upon it, you have nullified La ilaha illallah, and you will be in the hellfire, dwelling there forever, and you will not come out. The hellfire will be an eternal imprisonment and abode for the one who dies in the state of polytheism. May Allah keep us and you far away from that. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له الملك الحق المبين وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله سيد ولد آدم أجمعين صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه الطيبين الطاهرين على مر الأيام والليالي والشهور والسنين. أما بعد, as he goes on to say, as we just learned that the stars were only created for this purpose. That's it. Now you'll find from the non-Muslims who try to journey to the stars, wasting their time, trying to search of what the stars were not created for. For verily, if one was to busy himself with all the obligations that Allah has binding upon us, he will not waste his time. And now, trying to search out for secrets that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not burden us of having knowledge of. Rather, it's incumbent upon the human being only to purify La ilaha illallah and to carry out all those daily duties that Allah has binding upon every one of us individually before we are put under the dirt, because that is where all of us are heading. For you'll find that that was the only three purposes in which Allah created the stars for. Now let's learn the opposite of what people fall into on a daily basis in regards to affairs that Allah has made unlawful for the people to believe in regards to what is the opposite. For we go on in the Athar, Qatada Da'ama Sadusi goes on to say, whoever interprets the stars meaning that it has purposes for other than what we mentioned, then he has erred. And he has also nullified his portion of the religion. The great Imam goes on to say, which is Sheikh Salih Fawzan, رغم أعداء السنة والحزبيين, where he goes on to say, أن الله لم يخلق النجوم لهذه الأمور التي سنذكرها الآن لأنه أراد أن يحملها شيئا لم تخلق من أجله كأن يعتقد في النجوم أنها تدل على حوادث في الأرض أو هبوب ريح أو نزول مطر أو موت أحد أو حياة أحد أو توفيق في أمر أو انخذال في أمر، فهذا كله من التقول والتطاول والخرص والتخمين وادعاء لعلم الغيب الذي ما أنزل الله به سلطان. والنجوم لا تدل على هذا لأنها لم تخلق لهذا، وإنما هذا يرجع إلى علام الغيوب سبحانه، فمن تأول فيها اعتقد فيها غير ذلك من هذه الأمور الثلاثة التي دل عليها كتاب الله فقد أخطأ وأضاع نصيبه من الدين، وهذا يقتضي أنه يكفر وتكلف ما لا علم له به، لأن هذه خرص وتخمين وحدس وظن لا يغني من الحق شيئا أبدا. For verily one, if he falls into what we're discussing now, whoever interprets the stars to mean other than that, and as we'll talk about next week, as we know, brothers and sisters, that magic is from the 7 great destructive sins. That it is from the deep levels of disbelief. The practice of magic, in which we'll talk about soon, the different types of it, whether it be from people now forming concoctions with blood, or writing weird types of spells, or a person utilizing the hair of a donkey, or they're using the bonnet of Shaitan himself, they call it the bonnet, or they write something wall and smear it on with blood in order to cast a spell. We know Islamically that will nullify your Islam. If you use the shayateen to do your dirty work, if you utilize the jinn to do your dirty work, to cast some type of harm upon an innocent individual, even if he's sinful, it's still unlawful to take affairs into your own hands. If a person has oppressed you, Allah will deal with him, or Allah will deal with her. But it's not upon you now to cast a spell where you now nullified your Islam. What's the correlation, and why am I saying about this and when I'm discussing about the stars? Listen to this hadith. من اكتسب شعبة من النجوم فقد اكتسب شعبة من السحر زاد ما زاد. What's the correlation? What's the connection? Listen, as we just discussed, that the sihr, magic, min as-sab'i al-mubiqat, that magic is from the 7 great destructive of all sins. It will nullify Islam. If you die in that state, you'll be in hell forever, whether it be voodoo, numerology, whether it be illusionary magic, or whether it be usage of the shaitan. Now let's make the correlation. Listen to the hadith, which is on the authority of Anas ibn Malik, where the Prophet ﷺ mentioned his head. We said, whoever acquires a branch of the stars, meaning they acquire some knowledge of the stars, believing that the stars has some impact or influence over their life, they have acquired a branch of magic. Zada ma zad. The more the knowledge you attain of it, of believing that the knowledge has some effect on your life, the more you have increased of magic. So that's from the first of affairs. That know that the belief that you say, I am a Sagittarius, Sagittarius are outspoken, and they don't get along with a Leo. Or a Libra doesn't get along with a Leo. Or, for example, based upon the position of this star that is now in this certain position, that now this month I will not have some type of lucrative business, or my love life will be misfortunate this month, or my love life will be better because of this month. That it's not a good night, or it's not a good month for the Sagittarius, but it's a good month for the Libra, or for this particular month. That now, that based upon it being this particular time or this season, that more than likely I'm going to be lucrative in my business because my zodiac sign is in this certain position in the space from the celestial bodies. Listen to what the great Imam goes on to say. He says that verily the stars were not created for this purpose. For example, that a person has the belief or the conviction that the stars indicate current events that take place in this dunya, or current events that take place in this world. For example, from the wind blowing, or when the rain will descend, or when one will die, or when one will be given life, or when one will be granted success, where he will achieve some success in the affairs of his life, or when his affairs will be unsuccessful, when he will, for example, attain some type of failure in some of the affairs of this world or in his life. All of this is from lies, taqawul, lies, fabrication, transgressing the bounds, now going beyond the affairs in which Allah, the boundaries that Allah has set, khars, takhmeen, lies, fabrication, guessing, claiming to have knowledge of the affairs in which Allah did not send down with any authority. Verily the stars were not created for this purpose. Whoever has now interpreted other than that, they have lost and nullified their portion of the religion, which necessitates they have fell into disbelief. For verily now, and we'll end it off here, because I'm not just stopping, there's more information. For verily the knowledge of the stars in which people fall into these days, which is impermissible and unlawful, breaks down to three categories. Number one, such as was the belief of the people of Ibrahim, Khalil Rahman, where he was sent to the people of Nimrud, who were called the Sabians. The Sabians used to worship the stars. The Sabians used to believe that the stars had some type of impact in this world. And their ideologies are still amongst us. You know what they're in, everyone? Number one, as when every person, when they were in school, when they were young, they used to believe that the sun and that the stars go around the sun. That is a polytheistic belief. Why the Sabians and the polytheists and the Romans, who are in the deep levels of kufr, they used to believe that the sun, they used to worship it. So they used to believe it was the biggest star, and it was the dominant star, and that all of the stars circle around what they used to worship. As we know in the book of Allah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it clear, the sun revolves around the world, not the opposite. The polytheists, they glorified the sun. So they put it in the middle. So that was a form of what? Glorifying the sun, because some of them used to worship it. Then they said the stars revolve around it. It was a polytheistic belief that is even incorporated in our studies, in which the people have adopted. Listen to the first part. It says, the first part of believing that the stars have some impact. اعتقاد أن هذه الكواكب هي التي تحدث هذه الحوادث الكونية وأن مصدر الحوادث هو حركات الكواكب وتشكلاتها. The first one is the belief that the stars make things happen in this previous or in this existence, and that the source of events occur and take place due to how the stars move and what position they're in. This was the belief of the people of Ibrahim, of those who he was sent to what? Purify their belief and teach them what Tawheed was. From their polytheism, they used to worship the stars. And they used to deny of Al-Khaliq. There was one deity, one creator. They used to worship the stars, and they used to say that the stars, they make events transpire and take place due to how they're positioned and due to how they're shaped and due to their circumstances, which comes as a result of it. Certain affairs take place in this world of good and evil, or one having good health, or one being in a state of sickness, or that certain lands or particular places will be fertile, or certain lands will be in a state where they be befalled or tested with a what? A drought, or they'll be tested with some type of famine. Or other than that, from the beliefs of the Sabians, هذا كفر صريح بإجماع المسلمين. It is absolute clear disbelief by the consensus of the Muslims from the Kitab, from the Sunnah, from the Ijma' of the Salaf or the Sahaba and those who came after them. This was the first type of disbelief in regards to the stars. Here's the second type. The second type, that a person does not believe that the stars conduct in this existence, whereas they make things happen. However, they say that the stars is a reason for why certain things happen. Based upon its position this month, that means this is going to take place today, or in this certain month, or in my life. They say that it is the sabab, it is the reason. فَيَنْسِبُ إِلَيْهَا الْأُمُورِ مِنْ بَابِ الْأَسْبَابِ. They say that these are the cause, or this is the reason. Because I'm a Leo this month, my love life is not going to be good. Because I'm a Sagittarius this month, it doesn't look like I'm going to have a good, lucrative business this month. Looks like I'm going to take some losses in my life. Or maybe, inshallah, or if they say inshallah, that it's star based upon I'm a Sagittarius or a Libra, then I'm going to have a good love life this month. Or any of these affairs. Them saying that the stars is the reason for why these happen, and they ascribe it. This is another type of knowledge of the stars, in which is impermissible, and it is also from the affairs that will taint your tawheed, and it can nullify your Islam. That's the second type. The third type is that people use it to indicate certain events that will take place in the future. From those what they call Astradamus, where you have seen its effect upon the people. How many years ago do we know what happened here in America? There was a person that predicted that the day of resurrection, the day of judgment, will take place at this certain time, a certain day. And there were people that actually believed it. They started building shelters under the ground. They started building certain structures under the ground to take protection. People actually believed this nonsense. They believed it. That the day of resurrection is going to happen today, on a certain day, at this certain night, and Allah humiliated them. It never happened. They built and spent money of building shelters under the ground, shelters in certain places, taking refuge in certain places. It never happened. Because these are from the affairs of the unseen that only Allah has knowledge of. فَverily ya ma'ashal ikhwa. For verily these are the three affairs, and you'll find that the first affair refutes the polytheists and the people who have the ideologies of the Sabians. The second category refutes those who indulge in zodiac signs from the Muslims. Because I keep hearing this affair, keep popping up amongst the people. And I'm thinking to myself, how in the world does anybody have jealousy for the monotheism and the worship of Allah and believe in zodiac signs, and to have and think and have some belief that the stars have some type of impact on your life, when you're supposed to say La ilaha illallah, which shows and indicates there's a discrepancy in your knowledge of the meaning of it and the knowledge of the affairs of what it necessitates, of what is binding upon you and what is coming upon you to stay far away from, so you do not nullify it. The second category refutes those who indulge or partake in the knowledge of the stars, which is called astrology. The knowledge of astrology. And the third category refutes the Astronomers, who try to predict that certain affairs will take place in the future based upon the position of the stars. Listen to this last hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, on the authority of Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, where the Prophet ﷺ said, ثَلَاثَةٌ لَا يَدْخُلُونَ الْجَنَّةِ مُدْمِنُ خَمْرٍ وَقَاطِعُ رَحِمٍ وَمُصَدِّقٌ بِالسِّحْرِ. 3 people who will not enter paradise. The person who will not enter paradise. The person who's addicted to intoxicants. He's mudminu khamr. The person that's addicted to intoxicants. It is not just alcohol. Khamr, anything that changes your demeanor. Weed. Crack. Cocaine, Percocets, Mollies. All these affairs you'll find at Al-Ilm today are the worst form of intoxicants. Because Islam came to protect your mind. Islam, the purposes of it was to protect life, to preserve life. Yes, it was, despite of what a lot of people think. Islam came to preserve life. To preserve your honor, to preserve your lineage from fornication and adultery. One of the reasons to stay away from it, to protect your lineage. And to protect and preserve your mind. That's why intoxicants was made impermissible. To preserve your mind so you won't act like a lunatic or a maniac. So the one who takes or now partakes in intoxicants, and it is not only for those who now take it, for those who sell it. And I'm sure that everyone in this room, if you have now sold drugs, you will see that Allah didn't bless you. You have probably more problems in your life than you probably ever had. Why? Because that money isn't blessed. And you now living in fear and fright and always looking over your shoulder. Who's gonna get me? That's from the humiliation of Allah. To make you, inshallah, be a reason for you to make tawbah. And be happy that Allah has given you that and inspired you in your heart to feel that way. And I'm saying this to the Muslims too, who sell intoxicants in their stores. And I'm not afraid to say the truth. It is what it is. Even if it's to the kuffar, to the non-Muslims, it's still wrong. And you're still having money that's not blessed. And that you're eating in your stomach the hellfire. When you steal money, and this is what we have to instill in our children, always now put a conscious effort to try to attain halal means. If my son or my daughter, if you steal money or you sell haram to people, because you love this pathetic dunya, know for sure you're eating in your stomach the hellfire. That's what's supposed to teach our kids. So they can stay steadfast and firm upon attaining halal sustenance. The Prophet ﷺ said, the person who will not enter paradise, mudminu khamr, the one who's now become addicted to intoxicants. Number 2, the one who cuts and severs the ties of kinship, of his family. How many people out there have children and they just cut them off? You have responsibilities. I don't have to take care of my child. You dropped out of their life. Call to your rahim. You severed the ties. And brothers, I know all the tricks in the trade of these brothers out here. Trust me. You like to do the bare minimum and see, I did my responsibility as a father. You do the bare minimum and think you just deserve Father of the Year? Yes, that's the reality. Take this fire now or we take it in the hereafter. Which one we want? Take it how you want it. The one who severs the ties of his family, kinship. How many know here in America, How many we know in America that you're mad at your relatives for 5 years, 10 years, 12 years, 20 years? I'm just mad. 20 years? At your brother, your mother at the son? Don't talk to them for 5 years, treating them funny. I just got something in their chest. All these are from the affairs of Jahiliyyah. Severing the ties. I just got something in my chest. What is in your chest, Akhi, that you can't sit down and just try to squash it with your family? Is it affairs of kufr? Okay, that's given. Polytheism? Given. But I'm talking about petty situations. And some of these people out here know that they got guilt. And they can't face it. So they play a mind game. So they try to switch it and say, no, it's you. These are ideologies of the people of the hellfire of Jahiliyyah. All of it, it destroys the family structure. And we know that Allah said, cutting and severing the ties of your family, that is from corruption in the earth. Do we not see society, how it's broke down? Because of these affairs, which shows you the beauty of Islam. Number 3 is the last part. That's the point where I'm going to stop at today. The one who believes in magic. What does the meaning of belief in magic? It's not what you think. The belief in magic, that's established. Meaning, the belief in its existence. Of course, we believe magic exists. But what is the meaning of it here? Listen to the third meaning of it. The meaning of the one who believes in magic, the one who believes in the affairs of astrology. Bab al-Tanjim. At-Tanjim nu'un min as-sihr. The knowledge of astrology, of the stars, based upon its position, is a type of magic. That's the reason or the meaning of the hadith. I have more information. So the belief that you having a zodiac signs is from those affairs of disbelief. It's from those affairs of polytheism. For the person who truly has purified their tawheed, has their heart solely connected absolutely and without any shadow of a doubt, his reliability and his complete trust is connected with Allah. And it's not connected to anything Allah has created. And we'll talk about a hadith in another narration. After the narration rebuttals those who have this belief, where the Prophet ﷺ said at the end, Man wukila ila shay, or man ta'allaqa bi shay, wukila ilay. Whoever heart is tied to something created, it will be entrusted to it. For verily, ya ma'ashal ikhwa, this is just the beginning. I hope that those brothers and sisters who are on social media, talking about I'm a Sagittarius, I'm a Leo, I'm a Libra, I'm a Capricorn, that they remove this nonsense. This is disbelief in polytheism. And the fact that you fall into these affairs, the fact that you now wearing a thobe, growing a beard, wearing 7 layers of an overgarment and it's coming from your head to your toe, sister, and you believing in this, has removed the reason of why you're wearing it. And if you believe in its affairs, nullifies Islam. And I hope that everyone gets the point. The warning has been made. So it's incumbent upon us to act based upon these warnings before we meet Allah. ونسأل الله تبارك وتعالى بأسمائه الحسنى وصفات العلى أن يرينا الحق حقا ويرزقنا اتباعه ويرينا الباطل باطلا ويرزقنا اجتنابه وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم وسبحانك اللهم بحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.